They claim they were gathering rocks for cultural reasons and didn't know they were breaking the law. Tonight, 3 Kaneohe men who loaded up pickup trucks and tried to transport them on the super ferry are arguing they shouldn't be fined. Good evening, I'm Kim Janala. The men say their Mormon church needed a new emu pit and they didn't know they were doing anything wrong. But state workers doubt that story, partly because of lies they say the men told them at the dock. KGMB9's Tim Sakahara joins us with tonight's top story.
Kim, when the super ferry offered $5 fares last December, the men say they thought it would be a good chance to go to Maui to get the rocks. But court challenges stopped the super ferry service, and the loaded trucks were stuck in Maui long enough for authorities to notice. The men had no comment about the case, which accuses them of loading 934 rocks into 3 pickup trucks in Maui with the intention of bringing them to Oahu on the super ferry.
The majority of these rocks came from private land. And we have a letter from the landowner, Mr. Daryl Iwohi, who gave these gentlemen permission to come onto his property and take these rocks.
But according to the state, the rocks were taken from a public area called the Rivermouth on the Paukukalo shoreline near Wailuku. An off-duty conservation and resources officer happened to be surfing in the area at the time and watched the 3 men load the rocks in the back of their trucks.
We're not disputing that some rocks were taken from public land.
The attorney argued they had a cultural gathering right to collect the rocks. But if that were true, board member Jerry Edlow asked why the men lied to checkpoint officers, saying they were only carrying tools and pastries.
In my mind, if everything was legal and then they were in the right to doing what they're doing, whether it was for gathering rights or whatever else, they would have just said, oh, we got emo rocks in the back.
And with all due respect, I mean, that's assuming that's what was said, and we're not conceding that.
The board could fine the men $2,000 for each rock taken, which would be more than $1.8 million. Since this is the first case involving illegal items via the super ferry, the attorney feared the board may come down hard on the men.
We're asking you to consider them on a case-by-case basis and not try to use them as an example, because
the board agreed they will fine each man $3,050 and not let them have their trucks back until it's paid in full. But the men plan to fight the decision in a contested hearing, which will happen in the next 4 to 6 months. Tim Sakahara, KGMB9 News.
Thanks a lot, Tim. So what is allowed and not allowed on the super ferry? It's a good time for a reminder. All plants and roots must be inspected at the Department of Agriculture and need an approved DOA certificate of inspection. Cut flowers and harvested fruits and vegetables are okay. Domestic livestock and poultry need to pass inspection. However, pigs are not allowed on board. And licensed unloaded firearms and ammunition may be brought on board if secured and stored in separate compartments in the car.